Blackhawks lose 5-2 on home ice to the Boston Bruins in a very special night. A lot of legends in the building, lots of Stanley Cup champions from the dynasty teams in the building. Very nice ceremony before the game, and the Hawks decide, let's not show up other than maybe 10 minutes in the first and second period. Other than that, they were nowhere to be found, and it was more than just really bad goaltending. Welcome back to the Blackhawks Conversation post-game show. My name's Ryan McGregor. If you're new here, I'm here after every single Chicago Blackhawks game, even dud games like this, doing a full post-game show, breaking it down, my thoughts and opinions on the game, and also my thoughts on just this team in general and maybe where they're headed and how they're playing. But it's been a rough stretch of hockey. Even the few games we've had Bedard back for have been rough, and um, you know, having Soderblom play tonight, and play kind of a typical Soderblom game, um, didn't help. Uh, Lines pretty much stayed the same as normal. The Donato Moore Lardis line technically got bumped up to line two. And the Bertuzzi, Dickinson, Mikheyev line was down to the third line. So other than that, everything stays the same. And again, I feel like a broken record, but the Hawks slow start. They come out slow. They're at one point in the first period, early on the first, they're being outshot 8-1. Um, and it's the same story pretty much every game. I mean, they can't break the puck out. They can't cover the front of the net in the high slot. They lose puck battles behind their own net. And it's just a combination of all those things that they can't do, and they don't seem to do well, at least at the start of a game. Some games, like this one, to an extent, got better as the game went on. Um, but it's not every game that's the case. So that's a problem this team has to work on. The problem for them for a few years now has been 5-on-5. It has been the real problem. You get to special teams and it's usually looking pretty good. Tonight didn't, unfortunately, but um, most nights special teams are a strength and 5-on-5 is the issue. And tonight it was kind of just everything. Um, so yeah, first period they come out pretty slow. I had the Boston Bruins feed for some reason. I was not a fan of it. Um, every broadcast team, of course, is going to cheer for their team, but these guys were just really biased and a little bit unfair towards the Hawks. I mean, you had the play earlier in the game where the whistle goes for offside, and Mikheyev shoots the puck on net. And a little bit of, there was some answers there from some Bruin players, a little bit of chaos there after the whistle. And before they showed the replay, the Bruins guy on the broadcast, I forget his name. Um, he goes, "Oh, well, there was a good 2 seconds between the whistle and the shot. Like, obviously, the Bruins are going to do something about that. Like, there should be a penalty." And they show the replay, and it's probably less than a second. It's whistle shot. He's already gearing up for the shot as the whistle goes. So I didn't like that, and they stuck to it even after the replay, which I didn't like. And then you have Zadorov getting a penalty for a high hit from behind on Bertuzzi. And immediately the commentators go, well, it's Bertuzzi's fault. He turned. Like, there shouldn't be a penalty. And Bertuzzi did turn. But even if he hadn't turned, Zadorov's forearm was going right into his head. So I just didn't appreciate that. I didn't like the Bruins commentary. It's annoying that I can't just choose CHSN on the streaming platform I'm using. But anyway, that's not the point. But yeah, again, Hawks turning the puck over like crazy. Twice in the first 7 minutes, they turned the puck over on a breakout, leading to Soderblom having to make um, a really nice save. And credit to Soderblom, there was a few points early in this game where he made some good saves. He had a good first period. I thought he had a really good first period, actually. He saved all eight in the first period, and some of them were tough saves because the Hawks were just turning the puck over constantly. Um, and then the Hawks get a power play. It was a Zadorov penalty. Hawks get a power play. Technically, it's not going to count as a power play goal because it happened just after, but Green gets one. Really good to see Ryan Green get one. You can tell he really wanted that. He was happy to get it. Burakovsky has it on the half wall and, tries one thing, it doesn't work, holds the puck, tries another, which is centering it to Ryan Green, who makes no mistake and puts it home. Um, So it was a really good play, good patience from Andre Burakovsky. The power play had good movement. Um, Once they got set up, they struggled to get in at first. I noticed they kind of tried the dump and chase, and it worked, which I appreciated. Connor Bedard dumped the puck in, and lo and behold, it led to possession, and it led to a goal. Technically not a power play goal, but it was right after the power play ended. The guy wasn't even able to impact the play. So, uh, you know, you can categorize it as a power play goal when you're looking at tape, but technically not a power play goal. Um, and then Kaiser makes it 2-0. Now, despite the Hawks being outplayed early, they got better as the period went on. Uh, you know, they get a power play opportunity. I keep wanting to say they took advantage of it. They did take advantage of it, just technically doesn't count as a power play goal. So they're given an opportunity of the power play. They capitalize. And, later on in the first period, there's a play where good board work by Nick Foligno up the wall, chips it back to Kaiser. Kaiser walks in and puts it home. So another play where you're capitalizing on the Bruins' mistake. And this one was a bit questionable on as far as the Bruins had a case to be angry because Nick Foligno, while he was battling on the boards, he gets two guys on him. He gets taken down by the first guy as he's making the pass. And then as he makes the pass and he falls, the guy who's covering Kaiser trips over Foligno's stick and trips, and that gives Kaiser the whole slot. So he just walks in and puts it home. It was a beautiful shot. And a good forechecking play from the fourth line, but they definitely was a break there. So again, it's the Hawks capitalizing on opportunity, and that was the difference coming out of the first period. Was both teams had looks, both teams had turnovers that led to looks for their team. But the difference was the Hawks capitalized. So had faith going into the second period, and the second period is where everything just blew wide open. I mean, the Bruins get three unanswered in the second period. You have the McAvoy goal where it's an in tight odd man rush, and what annoyed me was you see Dickinson there just caught watching McAvoy in the slot, and unfortunately he makes his move too late. He just about gets there, but doesn't quite. So it hurts because if he just wasn't watching, and if he, maybe got on McAvoy sooner, I think he could have prevented that shot. Um, and then Mason Lowry makes it 2-2. Um, uh, the Bedard line is out there. They're kind of working it around. Lorai pinches. That was Bedard's check. Not throwing Bedard under the bus because it was a perfect shot by Lorai. Like, um, you know, you can try to blame somebody on the Hawks end if you want, but it was a perfect shot by Lorai. Um, you just like to see Bedard kind of stay on his man a bit better there. And then Victor Arvidsson makes it 3-2. Uh, this one was a little easier to place blame. Levshinov with a really bad turnover in the offensive zone. He doesn't get back. It's Vlasic and Bedard that are back. It's a 3-on-2. Vlasic takes the puck carrier to the wall, but the puck carrier is able to make the pass. So it's an in tight 2-on-1. And you have Arvidsson with, I forget who, but it was a give and go. Bedard lies down to try to block the pass. It doesn't work. It's a tic-tac-toe play, and it's 3-2 just like that. You blow a 2-0 lead, and we're going into the third. And uh, you could kind of tell that the game was over. I mean, you never want to say after two periods in a one-goal game that you can tell it's over, but it just kind of felt like it. Um, the team just didn't have it tonight, and a big thing is watching as a viewer. I didn't feel confident knowing Arvid Soderblom was in the net, so I can't imagine how the actual players are feeling knowing they have to play in front of Arvid Soderblom and the kind of night he's having. Sorry, the second period that he had. Um, and so we go to the third, and the Bruins get two more. Lorai gets the second. It's a power play goal. It's a wrist shot from the point. To give Soderblom any sort of benefit of the doubt, I could see there being a bit of a flyby screen from Crevier, a little bit of friendly fire there, but it's a wrist shot from the point. Like it's hard to defend Soderblom on that one. And then Kustadinov, I forget exactly how long, but pretty quick after the 4-2 goal, Kustadinov makes it 5-2. And it's one of those goals where Pasternak made such a nice play, such a good individual effort and a great pass that it's hard to say, oh, you guys messed up here. Like it's one of those plays you have to appreciate the the brilliance of David Pasternak. Um, Although Doc and Slager both on the back check don't take Kusadinov in front of the net. You'd like to see him get back sooner, but um, yeah, it was a beautiful play. I mean, David Pastrnak is obviously a really talented player, so when he does things like that, you have to just applaud it and say, "Yeah, you got us there." There's not much anybody can do about an insane goal, an insane play and pass. So, um, hard to throw blame around there, but regardless, it's a 5-2 game, and that's it. And the Hawks they pull Soderblom with 5.5 to go, and it's funny because they pull him, and I never feel good when the Hawks pull their goalie. They're so bad at keeping possession, uh, in in the offensive zone. But to credit to them, for the last 5.5 minutes of the game, they pretty much had possession the whole time. They had some chances too. So as I say, a little too little, too late. Sorry, as they say, and by the end of this game, um, shots are 24-23 for the Blackhawks. Faceoffs are um, 25-23 for the Bruins. It was a close game. Your power play goes 0 for 1 with an asterisk because, you know, on the ice, it was still pretty much a power play, a 5-on-4, and penalty kill goes 0 for 1. Um, so again, it's one of those nights where the special teams weren't there as much as they normally are. Um, But 5-on-5 is the big issue. And the special teams, you can't even say they have bad nights. I mean, the penalty kill goal, or sorry, the power play goal for the Bruins wasn't even this like huge breakdown defensively from the Hawks. It was just a shot that you want to see a save. And the power play technically went over 1, but the power play looked fine. It's one of those nights where 5-on-5 and goaltending was just so bad that um that's how you pay. And I won't. There's definitely been worse games 5-on-5 by this team. It wasn't absolutely horrible. Um, the big thing was Arvid Soderblom. He had a 783 save percentage. He let in 5 goals on 23 shots. I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on Lorai's first goal, the snipe coming down the wing. Um, Maybe the first McAvoy goal because he's just point blank in the slot. Um, I'm not gonna give him the benefit of the doubt on Lorai's second goal, the power play goal, and maybe not on the Kusadinov goal. But you'd like to see a better game from Soderblom there. I mean, a 783. I don't care how many really nice saves you made. A 783, 5 goals on 23 shots. Like that's just completely uh unacceptable from Arvid Soderblom. So, I'm seeing a lot of it on Twitter now of people calling for Comesso, and I kind of said it um on an episode earlier in the week. Uh, if they moved Soderblom at the deadline and brought up Comesso to be the backup for the rest of the season, I'd be fine with it. Hell, if they even sent him down now and brought up Comesso, I'd be happy with it. I'm fully on team get Comesso up here. And not even just because of Comesso's 37 save shutout. I mean, that's one game. It's just it can't get worse than Soderblom. Is Comesso going to give you worse than a 783? Probably not. So I'm all for uh that switch there. For positives tonight, I thought Bedard looked all right. He looked pretty good. It wasn't a bad game from Bedard. I mean, he had a point tonight. He had 6 shots on goal. So I thought he looked fine. Um, Actually, I thought 2/3 of that line looked good. I thought Ryan Green looked good. I wasn't huge on Burakovsky's game. It was better than last game. Burakovsky had a brutal game last game. Um, I thought the fourth line had another good game. I liked what I saw out of the fourth line. I liked what I saw out of Moore and Lardis offensively. Um, it was a weird game for Levshinov. I mean, First of all, he got a charging penalty, which you don't see that very often. I don't see how that was a charge. I think that was a bit of a makeup call. Um, but he had a strange night. He looked really good offensively. He had a lot of good plays. Sorry, not just offensively, but to be more specific, on the breakout, he was breaking the puck out by himself a lot, and he is really good at that. He's really good at skating the puck from his own end, maneuvering through guys, and becoming a fourth forward, and oftentimes creating an odd man rush, like a 4-on-3 or 4-on-2 the other way. But his game on the defensive side of the puck was really bad tonight. So it was another one of those games from Levshunov where you like what you see in the offensive zone, minus the turnover that led to the Arvidsson goal. Um, and you're frustrated with what you see on the defensive side of the puck. I mean, some of those turnovers he had on the defensive side of the puck were just extremely frustrating. Um, yeah, this is just one of those games where you move on to the next. Nothing too crazy to pull from this one. Wasn't their worst game of the year, wasn't their best game of the year. Uh, I thought that, after playing poorly in the first period, but still coming away with a 2-0 lead, I thought that would be enough. That would be enough of a kick in the pants for them to say, all right, we've somehow got a 2-0 lead here. Let's protect this thing. But they didn't do a great job of that, obviously, having let in five straight after that. So, yeah, not much to take away from this one other than, um, watch some tape and move on to the next. There's some things to build off of for this one. Get Spencer Knight back in that net, and we'll be back for, I believe the next game is the Jets. Jonathan Taves returns to the United Center. That's going to be a lot of fun. Again, I'll be back here for that. If you're new here, I do a post game after every single Blackhawks game. So again, be sure to subscribe, and you can also listen to the show. Exact same show is on here. You can listen to that on Apple Podcasts. So if you'd rather listen on your drive to work or when you're doing chores around the house or, you know, doing whatever, you can listen now on Apple Podcasts. So be sure to leave it 5 stars as well. That really helps out a ton. And if you have any Blackhawks friends, share this show with them. It's a lot of fun here to build a small community of Hawks fans. It's a good time. So, yeah, send it to some friends who are Hawks fans, and I'll be back for the post game after the Jets game. So I'll see you then.